Welcome back. OLUWO of IWO land is trending once again. It has never gone without a trail of controversy ever since he mounted the throne of his ancestors. Now, Asabe Africa TV did beautifully when OLUWO's wife came out and she said a lot of things. He availed himself and he did some forensic interview where he asked several questions, deep questions. And now that OLUWO is trending, well, you know how it is. He had accused OONI of Ife. In fact, he said that this baby called Oduduwa, that there is a likelihood that that child does not belong to him. According to him, he claimed that OONI of Ife is part of those, or even the major person that brought this ex-wife of his into his life. He said it's a mystery. They tried to unalive him. There's a lot and a lot that he said. Well, we are back on it again. Let us watch this and we will be talking more. It is getting serious.
Beside you, blah, 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 blah. And, it was a party. We were all drinking, having fun. I had a little bit too much to drink. So I went upstairs to one of the rooms and I laid down and fell asleep. And like around 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to find OLUWO on top of me with my clothes. My clothes were removed. I didn't have any clothes on my body and OLUWO was on top of me. And I started going crazy because I'm just a foreigner. I don't know what is going on. I said, hey, excuse me. No. And he said, no, I'm a king. And in our culture, you don't say no to a king. And then when a king extends leg to you, you must agree. And you're going to be my wife. And I'm going to marry you. And don't worry, you're going to have a good life. And blah, 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 blah. And it's very embarrassing, and the reason I'm saying this is because OLUWO has gone all around, north, south, east, west. He's telling people that I was a prostitute from Toronto, that he didn't know me, that he slept with me on the first night. Tell the people the truth. Tell the people that you raped me. Tell the people what happened the first night you met me. Jesus. I had too much to drink. And I laid down in one of the rooms in the house. I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning. My clothes were removed and OLUWO was on top of me. Yes. Hey. That is what happened. Hey. And 1 month later, this was February 2nd, 2016. I will never forget this day because this is the day that my life changed drastically. The day I met OLUWO, February 2nd, 2016. Oh my God. 1 month later, I missed my menses and I was pregnant. So 1 month after I met OLUWO, I was pregnant. If you people do the math, his coronation was January 16th. I met him February 2nd. My baby is born November 16, 2016. Jesus. November from February is 9 months. That's when I met OLUWO, February 2nd. Oh God. He raped me. And the next day, because he already slept with me, listen to me, Maureen, I'm not going to say I was a virgin. I was not a virgin, but because he slept with me the first night, he raped me. The next day, he said, okay, we're going to IWO, we're going to the palace, and I will make you queen. So I went with him. He told me I should pack all my load, and he's bringing me to IWO to do marriage, and we're moving into a palace, and blah, blah, blah. Maureen, the very next day when we got to IWO, there was no palace. The palace didn't even have a roof. There was no palace. We were staying in one Barrister Atanda. He's also based in UK. He can attest to this. We were staying in Barrister Atanda's home. That is where we stayed. There was no palace. There was no royal, I will make you my Olori. There was nothing. There was even a family that came they were so upset because OLUWO disvirgined one girl from that town and promised that family marriage. So when that family got to find out one Canadian was with this king, that is when he went to the news. because he promised a lot of women. He started sleeping around with a lot of women from Lagos to IWO to Oshogbo to Ibadan. He was sleeping with a lot of women and promising them Olori. So when people started to find out, oh, there's one Jamaican woman living with him and blah, 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 that is when he went to city people and put this fake news that, oh, his wife from Canada, he married me in Canada, and that I came to Nigeria to claim my rightful spot, which was a lie.
Oh my God.
It was a lie. So what happened was, even before I stepped foot into that Palace Marine, I already had a gang of enemies.
Oh my God.
You understand? The relationship was already built on a false foundation. You understand? Because he had promised a lot of women marry. I don't know what was going on. I don't speak Yoruba. I don't know what was going on.
Oh my God.
You understand? So then there was a lot of backlash about me on the internet. A lot of women started writing bad things about me on the internet. I've never been to Nigeria a day in my life, but a lot of Nigerians were writing bad things about, oh, she's a bad girl from Canada. She's this. I don't know anybody in Nigeria for them to say I'm a bad girl. You understand?
Yes.
So you understand? Even now that I'm not with this person, there's so many women that come into my inbox every day. Oh, you're just a bad, you're bad, and God will punish you. Where do I know you from? You spent all of his money when you were enjoying his money. Did you? Where were you? Because I never met you a day in my life. I never seen you. So how do you know what happened behind closed doors of that palace? I will tell all of you guys, don't let this person fool you. He will never support your business. He doesn't have anything. So whatever you guys want to defend him, I don't. So many people have joined this OLUWO's fight against me that they don't even know me from anywhere.
Oh my God.
So that's how we met. In a long story cut short, that was how we met.
The issue with Canada, we went to Canada in November 2019, just November past, and we had a disagreement. There was some money that went missing, my personal money, and it was just me, him, and our baby in the hotel. When we go to Canada, we stay in hotel. OLUWO doesn't own a house in Canada. He doesn't own a car in Canada. So we stay in hotel. We use Uber. It's my credit card that we use to pay for these things. You understand? So I asked him, some money went missing. What happened? Please.
How much?
I don't wish to disclose, okay. He now got very defensive and started abusing me verbally. Oh, yeah. I don't,
you're free.
He got very defensive and very, and he now called one of his friends to say, he called his friend and he said, my wife is about to call the police on me and come and get because if there's police issue and I don't want, and my stool and my position.
But were you trying to get the police on him really?
Not at all. Not at all.
It was just being dramatic.
We know him to have a dramatic personality. You understand? And his friend came and got him, and he took all his belongings out of the hotel, and then he left. This was November 15th. My son's birthday was November 16th. And he left that and he went to Nigeria to join a popular Lagos monarch for the burial of his father's. It was a remembrance of his father's passing, this monarch in Lagos. And he then left me and my son in Canada and started messaging me through text message once he got back to Nigeria.
Someone was to do his own birthday 24 hours, so he just left the young
man didn't make any, he likes to post on Instagram happy birthday, nothing from my son, nothing. And he started sending text messages from Lagos that, oh, stay in Canada, don't come back. I said, but where will we go? We don't have anywhere to go. Do you want us to sleep in a shelter? He says, oh, you're free to go to shelter. All my other baby moms are taking care of themselves. Find a way to take care of yourself, and I was like, so what happened? Why are you So that's the first time he tried to abandon us in November. And I still took myself and came back to Nigeria. I arrived in Nigeria, I believe it was like December 3rd or something of that nature. And when I got back to Nigeria, you know, we didn't have any problems until about 2 weeks before I was sent out the palace. I discovered that he was, you know, having an illicit dealings with our housemaid.
He was having a sexual intercourse affair with your housemaid? Because, how did you cut him?
I confronted him. It was...
No, you're honest.
Things are not, it's not easy thing to say.
But you have to say it so that we will learn from it.
You know, when I approached him about it, he was just basically very nonchalant, like he didn't care. And he was like, what do you want me to do? Should she just die? You know, but that's what they're wishing for us. You know, any woman that you're putting yourself with, you're opening the doorway to different kind of, you're putting me at risk spiritually. You're putting me at risk, my health. You know, there's things as AIDS in Africa. That's very real. Did I come from Canada to contract these kind of diseases? We live in the middle of a rural kind of community. It's not like Lagos. It's not a, you know, it's very, a lot of bushes and trees and not a lot of civilization. You understand? Which I loved IWO. I love IWO with my whole heart. I lived there for 4 years. I served IWO I stood beside this. Imagine you're standing beside someone who is irrational, have many personalities. You're an emir, you're an eze, you're an obi, you're an emperor, you know, you have many, some days you wake up, you don't know if, okay, is he upset today or is he happy today, or you don't want, let's not piss him off today, let's not make him. And I stood there for 4 years. No generator. No, you know, we just got a generator in October. It was, God bless him, His Excellency, Senator OLUWO, that is also from IWO, that donated a generator, a Mikano generator, that we can have lights. Everything in that palace was donated. It was Chief Ogundogun that bought the chairs that we sit on, that even bought our bed that we sleep in. But this man will be going around saying, I spent all his money. Which money was I spending? I would go to baggy markets. I would go on foot to baggy market. I would be buying my clothes. OJ market in Ibadan. My woman in OJ that makes my Ofi. 1 pack of Ofi is 5K. So you're looking at my pictures on Instagram. Oh, she looks beautiful. She's enjoying. Oh, Lori, I trust you're enjoying. I trust it. 1 pack of it takes 2 pack of Ofi to make it. 2 pack is 10K. What is that? But you know, people would look at picture and say, oh, she's enjoying. And he went everywhere to say he spent all his money on me. I don't have a business. I don't have a car. The cars that we drove, that we're driving, the new Lexus that we're driving, it was given to us by, you know, I don't want to say any names, but it was during the election, a great politician from Lagos donated that money to OLUWO. That we would vote APC. Adeoti, the former SSG of Osun State. Is that his name, Adeoti?
Yes, Adeoti, yes, Adeoti.
And he made everybody vote for Adeoti and told us that if we don't vote, we have to vote for somebody that is from IWO. And if we don't vote for Adeoti, then curses will fall upon us because we voted against the land. You understand? And
OLUWO was saying that?
Yes! But you took APC money. And then you will say that I spent all your money. Where is all the money that I spent? The Prado that we have another vehicle is a Toyota or something, a SUV. It was donated to us by one Alhaji. God bless his heart. You know, our Hilux is donated to us by one Alhaji that's so generous to us. I will keep your name because a lot of people don't want to be named because they don't want OLUWOs. They don't want to be in the news.
What of the Nissan Jeep too? That was banning about the black one.
The Nissan Jeep.
Nissan.
It was one Jeep. It was a black Jeep. It was a 2013 Jeep. He went and put, it's 2013. He put 2018 body on it. 2018 exterior on it. You understand? And it was donated. And there's no money, people. We don't own it. Right now I'm in Lagos. I'm sleeping. I'm homeless with my child. You know, it's very shameful. You understand? We've been out of the palace for 5 months. Now 1 naira as this king donate for your son Odudua that you claim, it's the first Odudua that you use my son to trend. Nobody in Yoruba land names their son Odudua.
So your son is with you? I was thinking the son is in the palace.
No.
You mean your son lives with you? He dumped your son?
Son is with me.
I can't believe it, Your Highness.
My son is, I would have took him with us today, but because of COVID, you understand. My son is with me.
Are you sure, man? Your Excellency, Your Highness. No, I can't believe this. I mean, if I were a man and I'm sending my wife away, I will have to take the child to myself. Because I thought when you came to Nigeria, you took the child to the palace before you were sent out of the palace. Are you telling me that your son was rejected alongside with you? Yes. What kind of man does that?
He's now saying that my son is not his.
I can't believe this.
My son is not his. My son is 3 years old. My son will be 4 in November. So it's just last week you woke up and decided that the child is not yours. You understand? You know, he hasn't given 1 penny for the baby. My baby has got malaria. He's got sick. I have to find money to buy medicine, to take him to the hospital, to do all these things. My son is a crown prince, and you're saying that my son is not yours. But you're still doing interviews all around saying, I named my son Odudua. Stop using us to trend.
The name Odudua, did he consult you before he gave you this? He gave his son name, because Odudua is a very symbolic name. We are going to other. Yeah.
It is.
It's symbolic. It's a Yoruba name, and it's the name of the progenitor of the Yoruba culture. So when he put that name on your son, did he consulted you, and were you in agreement?
I didn't have a choice. Imagine it's my first child ever in life. I gave birth to this boy. OLUWO wasn't in Canada with me. He was having an affair with one girl from IWO, one Omalara Afolabi. You understand? And I was in Canada. I gave birth to this child by myself in a hospital room.
Welcome back. That's a deep one. That's a deep one. Now, that was many years back. The ex-wife of OLUWO of IWO. The thing is that he has brought back this, linking it to the present. There could be, or there might be, some radicalness about OLUWO of IWO in a bad way. You know, there are certain radicality that are for good. There are certain radicality that are not for good. He has both. He has both of it. She talked at length about how broke OLUWO was. There are two things connected to it. Someone might have money, but they will show themselves broke because they expect that they must be given. OLUWO of IWO knows that coming back to Nigeria, becoming king, requires money. He's not going to spend his money. There are some kings that spend their money. Now, being that OLUWO is from a rural environment, unlike where OONI of Ife hails from, of course, they have rural environment, bush, and they have it also there. But to an extent, where OONI of Ife is quite different from where OLUWO of IWO is. OLUWO of IWO's environment is a little bit more, is still a little bit, you know, kind of not like city-like. That's what I mean. So she talked about how life was in those days, that there is no money. But this man prides himself, acts like, I am king above all, I am the number one. It's a practice that when kings occupy the seat, the throne, the stool of their father, that the state governor, the government takes care of certain things such as building them a new palace. Some of them like it that way, a new palace, even OONI of Ife too. A new palace. They do not like to occupy previous palace. They take over a new one. They build a new one. They get them a new palace. The recent kings, they like the white limousine, and this is these are the practices. This has always been how it was, and maybe it will continue forever that way. OLUWO of IWO is not going to spend his money. Like I said at the beginning, he's not going to spend his money on any woman. In fact, on Ooni of Ife, from what we heard, he gets a lot of money from women. He targets women that are rich, and he gives them that status that they so much wish for. That is why a lot of women are tumbling right, left, and center. But in the case of OLUWO, like I said, it's not from a space where a lot of money can be made. Some people talked about how he is into mining and sale of land, but he has always said it publicly that he will not sell anybody's land, that he's not into that kind and type, that he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He has said it several times. So I don't know, maybe what he's saying is different from what is happening in reality. If you're from IWO land, you're truly from IWO land, please come to the comment section and tell us if OLUWO is the kind and type that does these things. Don't forget, if these kings rely on salary that the government pays them, I don't think they'll be able to live the way you see them, life in affluence. So when OLUWO came back, he definitely had some couple of Canadian dollar in his pocket, but he's not going to spend that. He won't. He's not going to spend that. He's going to wait for the state to sponsor him. He's going to wait. So this lady came in and it was at that time that OLUWO came back without anything. Let me put it that way. But not like he doesn't have something in his pocket. He has lived abroad for a very long time, unless he's in prison. If he does normal work and pays his rent over there, he definitely will have some little bit of change in his pocket. So she painted a picture of grim, a picture of struggle. Not until things started taking form and shape, but their relationship went sour. Could it be that her expectation is high up there, hoping that things will get better? Or she's trapped in this fantasy of, I am married to a king. I'm going to show my friends and family that I'm married to a king in Africa. Could it be? Well, the story that she painted is that of a woman who stood by a man that has no character. That's the picture that she's painting. A woman who stood, how she has struggled with him. And OLUWO had bragged, and let's be sincere, OLUWO is the kind of person that will brag about how a king can. And a person like this woman might not understand some of the utterances, but she painted a clear picture of how OLUWO will lay with a housemaid. And then OLUWO will say, I am a king. A king does whatever it is that he wishes to do. How dare you tell me, why am I laying with this? Do you know what my ancestors would have done to you? Querying me and questioning me. Now she is from, she's having this orientation, thinking that OLUWO also has that same orientation, being that he's also a Canadian, thinking that OLUWO will not aspire to have multiple women, acquire more. So she also thought that OLUWO would not be the kind that want to lay with me. These are the things that kings do. Look at David. He didn't go to war. He was standing in his balcony or his penthouse, looking around the whole city, picked on a woman, queried about the woman, asked them to fetch out the woman. If his eyes had feasted on a maid and he felt he wants that maid, it's the same thing. These are what kings do because they believe that they are, every other person is under them. And that's what it is. That everybody is under them. This is what they do. Now, not to talk of OLUWO of IWO, of course, that demonstrate pettiness and some attributes, some characteristics that are, I'm not talking about his stance on Islam and not bowing to Ogun and all of that. That's not what I'm talking about. Nobody should bind a king. That's what he said. And I believe and I accept. Nobody should bind a king to, this is how we used to do it. Yes, culture, tradition. It is his job to uphold. But don't forget that kings also have the authority to change the status quo. That is why they are kings. So he has changed his own status quo and all of that. But the part of telling this lady, all my baby mama, it's as if it's a trick. Let's go to Canada. Then when he got to Canada, he found a way to quarrel with her so that he will leave her there in Canada, hoping that she will stay in Canada with that child and request child support from the government. And then he will be free to mingle. He will be free. He will be free to do whatever he wants to do. And he won't have the responsibility to take care of that child. Unless, of course, he's Canadian. The government will muscle on him to pay child support. Maybe he's banking on that because we're crying out loud. They are both in the same space. Money got missing. It could be that money got missing out there and he felt embarrassed, like, how dare you tell me that I stole 500 Canadian dollar or 1,000 Canadian dollar? How dare you speak such? How dare you say? It could be, yes, let's look at it. In sincerity, it could be that our money got lost, missing, or whatever. It could be, and who knows what happened. But OLUWO left and disappeared to Nigeria immediately the next day. Went for a ceremony. Could it be that OLUWO already plotted it, like, I'm going to leave this one day? Then she returned back. When she got back to IWO, OLUWO ended whatever it is. Meaning OLUWO already had that thought. It's time for her to go and raise. That's why he could say all the rest of my baby mamas, they are the ones minding those children. They are the ones taking care of them, not me. Now that's irresponsibility. That's irresponsibility. He speaks at times like a man that has some understanding of certain things. But the thing is, when you look at him deeply, you profile him, he has this thing about him, a kind of attitude about him, that one can say it is possible that this kind of person will not pay child support, will care less about taking care of his children. And if he does, he will want to show the world like, hey, so I am trying to profile him somehow as somebody he wants to show people that he has arrived. He wants to show people that he's king. It's as if he never expected that he will rise to where he is. So he wants to show those villagers that, yes, here I am. And he's never, he wants to show to everybody. Even OONI of Ife is ready to do the same. To anybody like, hey, I am here. I am here. More like bragging. I don't know. I don't want to go too far on this. What are your thoughts?